Now let us test it further. I say Alice. Now that's exactly what will work over here as well. But let's say if the last name is more than 15 characters, like something like Wordsworth and Fire. Now, could this be more than, let's say, Wordsworth, Fire, and I don't know how many characters long is it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Wow. So I put Fires, it accepts. This is exactly 15 character long. And now let's say I put a Y and hit enter. You see, the moment I enter the 16th character, that means it's exceeding 15 characters, I get this error. You can try retry or just click on cancel. I say retry. And just enter Waters for now. That should be fine. Now, come back to the email address validation later. Now, date of birth. I want this to be in a specific range. So first, we have settings under this validation criteria. I have a date. Now, if I leave this as it is and just click OK, it will give me an error. You must enter both an end date and a start date. Now, end date, it's the date of birth, right? So it cannot be the same as today's date or any time of the future. So we need to have an upper limit and a lower limit. Let's say the start date, which would be something like 1 Jan 1940. And then for the end date, we have something like, it must be greater than 20 years because the understanding is by the time you complete your graduation, you must be around 20, 21 or 22 years of age at least, right? So let's give a benefit of doubt, and over here in certain exception cases, the students might just get a degree while they must be still at least 16 years of age. So here in this case, I would say today. We have an interesting function called as today. And what I would like to do is, before that, I say we'll use eDate function in Excel, the eDate function wherein the start date is today. I want that jump by 18 or 16 years before. So that's 16 years multiplied by 12. Now, if you would be able to relate to this if you would have visited the video on date functions there. eDate, generally, it helps you jump by number of months. Now here, starting from today, we are jumping back by 16 years. But here, this argument should be in the form of months. Hence, we are multiplying it by 12. Now click OK. Here we have this. Now let's say I have the date as 10 October 1990. It accepts it. Now let's say I want to put, instead of 1990, I put 2019. You see, it does not meet the criteria. What is 16 years from today? Today it's, we are in 2021, February 2021 currently. So 16 years before 2021, that would be what? 2005? Let's try with 2005. We are in the month of February, so it will still give me the error. But what if it is January or 1st Jan 2005? Well, it accepts that. What if it is 1st of February? It does accept that, but the moment I hit 1st of March, the moment I hit, say, 1st of February, it takes that. And now I put 1st of March, it returns an error because that's exactly 16 years from today. And what about I put 1 Jan, or rather, let's say 31st December, okay, 31 December 1939. That's just one day before the start date that we had specified. It gives an error. But what if it is 1 Jan 1940? It accepts it. So here we have successfully made validation for date over here, wherein they can just select the range, but we know for sure that they fall at least 16 years before. Now, in case if there is further exception, they say, no, we have certain cases wherein a 15-year-old has also cleared the graduation, then probably we can come back and change this over here to 16. Instead of 16, we can make this to 15 and hit enter, and that works. Maybe you want to change the start date as well. That's still fine. Now, that's the date format. Now, for the home state, like I mentioned, there could be a scope for errors over here. A same person may be, making human manual errors. So I don't want to let that happen. Instead, I would want to give a drop down over here such that it meets the criteria of this list over here, right? So how do we do that? So we'll go to data validation. We'll select list. Now, before we select that huge list, let me also show another way of entering your data. Here, you can just type in the names. For example, we have Alaska, and then we have Michigan, Ohio, and then we have Iowa. For now, let's stick to these names over here, and one more, Texas. We have 5 names here, and click OK. Now here we see a drop-down button over here. I click on this and I can see the list of states over here. I can just select them manually. That's the way how I can enter, and it works. But in case if I realize that there is a error in the way how I spelled one of the states, I might have to come back here, select that state and just edit it. That's it. Each state name separated by a comma and no data mentioned in double quotes. Now let's say this would be quite cumbersome. Let's talk about having 50 states over here or 51 names. It would be a long list. I have a better option. I'll just wipe this out, clear, and instead the source, I click on the cell while my cursor is on this part, click on sheet 2, and here we have the list of states. I select the list of states. Ensure that the list is in a sequential order, either ascending, descending, alphabetically, whichever way it is. Don't let it be in a random order, because then the drop-down list will also appear in a random order. And when you have a list which is not in a defined order, there is a risk that you might not be able to find what you're looking for. For example, I'm looking for Maine, and if it is in a random list, I'll have to check through each record over here to see where is Maine, if it is not arranged in an order. But here we have all the states arranged alphabetically because the states list over here, I have arranged them in an alphabetical order. So here we have the list of states. We can select that. Now, year of passing, it should be something like 2020 or 2019 and so on. Now here, again, we can define the list over here wherein we want whole numbers. It's not a decimal. Now, minimum value and maximum value. Now, Bright University gave it its first degree in the year 2001. And as of now, they are still giving the degree. So I would say for now, if I enter 2021, okay, that's the current year that we are in. But let's say next year, I want to also update 2022. It will not allow me to. So another easier way of doing the validation over here is instead of specifying the maximum limit, just use the year function. You have the year function in Excel, and under that type today. So today's date, year function will extract the year from today's date. And so here I can type 2000. It does not, because the university started giving their degrees from, or the year, the first batch that passed out, that was in 2001. Hence we have this. So 2001 works. What if I type 2022? It does not work because currently we are in 2021, but 2021 will work. So this is how we can have the validation with the help of function. Now CGPA, that could be in decimal format. So having a whole number may not be a good idea. Let me show you how. Let's say the CGPA could be anywhere from the range of the lowest that a college could think of giving would be, let's say, 1, and then to maximum, or let's say 0. There could be cases of 0, absolutely no CGPA given, and a maximum limit of 9, and click OK. Now here we had a whole number here, right? So let's say it is 7.85. I hit enter, it gives me error. Why? Because we are entering something in decimal and we had programmed it to enter only whole number, to accept only whole numbers. So this is not a good idea. Rather, we'll need to select decimal here and minimum of 0 to 9. Now that's perfect. Take a look at this. It's 7.85. It did take it. What if I put 9? It takes it. What if I put 9.01? It will not, because it's greater than 9. But what if I put a 0? It works. So we have someone with a CGPA of 6.72, and that's it.